Well, hello, I am live tonight just to quickly, not so quickly, go through how I've lost my recent weight loss with over 14 kilos lost in the last 12 weeks. That takes my total up to over 30 kilos since I first started on a low carb diet. And we're going to go through how to get started on the Egg Fast 3.0. This ebook that we released in March has been amazingly popular, and obviously with results not only my own, we have people who have been following the plan and who have lost in excess of 20 kilos over that period of time, way above what I've lost, and it is helping so many others. So I thought I would just quickly go through what I've been doing for the 4 days on, because it's only a 4-day diet for those of you who don't know, or 4-day rules, and then 3 days off. So we'll go through that. I will tell you what I'm having on the 4 days and what I'm having on the 3 days off. And I'll also go through on how you can get started and some quick tips for a successful Egg Fast 3.0, or we'll just call it the EF3, and also what other projects we're working on at the moment to increase the resources and that are available for losing weight while still following your low carb diet and keeping it easy. That's the whole thing that it's supposed to be about. So I'm just going to check that we've got it on here. I just want to open this post up so I can see any questions that anybody's got. So if you've got any questions, if you've been following it or have the ebook already and have anything that you want to know, then please pop it in the messenger. After I go through everything, I'll quickly scroll through and address anything that I can see that stands out to me. And then if there's anything that I missed during this live broadcast, I will comment on the thread after I have finished. Okay, so I'm going to get started. For anyone who doesn't know, this is my printed copy. Everyone is welcome to print their own personal copy of the ebook. So it's just for you, not for selling or gifting to anyone. It's 126 pages. It has 5 meal plans, which is inclusive of a bonus meal plan. So 4 meal plans plus a bonus one that includes recipes from our Egg Fast 2 and our original Egg Fast, which you could probably call Egg Fast 1. So this is what we're talking about today, and that is what I've been using for 4 days a week for the last 12 weeks. I think it's 11 or 12 weeks. I always lose track. To lose the 14 kilos that I've lost. So Egg Fast 3.0, like I said, it has 4 plans. It's protein based. So if you thinking of the original Egg Fast, which the original Egg Fast was eating an egg within 30 minutes of waking up and egg-based meals and fat and cheese, that was pretty much it. This is not the same, okay? So it's protein based. We're focusing, it's still using eggs because they're such a versatile source of protein. Meat, seafood, so protein itself, that you can add a minimum of 100 grams a day to your plans and increase your protein. And we also have hemp seed for a plant-based protein. That is of course optional if you don't eat, if you can't access hemp seeds or you can't have them. And intermittent fasting. So we're not setting those traditional old goals of the Egg Fast where you have to eat within 30 minutes of waking and eat every 3 hours. This is like eating to satiety, eating only when you're hungry, and if you follow OMAD or 2 meals a day, then you can fit this into your general way of eating. Okay, so that is pretty much what the book is about. It has 55 plus recipes, and they can be made both conventional methods, and for those of you who have Thermomixes or thermal cookers, you can use them with those as well. So as I said, I've lost 14.1 kilos over 12 weeks. I have had a loss every single week. Now I have now lost a total of 32.4 kilos. Don't forget the 0.4 since I first started on a low carb diet in April 2017. When I started, I straight away started writing all my own recipes, and that I was sick. I had Achilles tendonitis, bursitis, a heel spur. I had a range of sleeping problems. I was 110 kilos, and I just couldn't lose weight no matter what I did. So I tried that, lost 30 kilos. And then just over the last couple of years, I put a little bit of that weight back on. Now, I'm not somebody who falls off a wagon or goes and eats crap and stuff like that and then comes back to low carb. I've actually, because a lot of people ask me this question, I've always eaten low carb keto diet. I've always fasted within some sort of way, but not as much as I feel my body likes to and responds to better. So over the last couple of years, I put on around about another 13 kilos. It might have been a little bit more at some point, just through not fasting long enough, eating at the wrong times, eating some crappy food, but not like, it was still like let's just say a low-carb protein bar from a supermarket, or, you know, more sweets than I need. So I have pulled all that back, of course, and followed this plan and lost the extra weight that I put on and a little bit more. So I'm only like 500 grams off the healthy weight range for my height. So anyone that's, we've had a few comments of like people saying I look gaunt or whatever. I have a really long face, okay? So you can see there's still weight on there. But yeah, I would like to lose about another 8 kilos. So that will take me, you know, above that 20 kilo mark again, and around about the 40 kilos since I first started. So that's still well within a healthy weight range for somebody who's 5'9". Okay, so for anyone that's asking, we get a lot of people asking about whether I exercise. Now, I have walked mainly 4 to 5 days every week for, I think it's probably around about 5 years now. We have the weekends off lately anyway. I think at some point we did probably walk that, but that was before I did this plan. So there's no exercise involved. So my weight gain again is, you got to consider what I do for a living. For those of you who don't know, I've been writing recipes and cookbooks for now 6.5 years. So obviously I test a lot of food. I test a lot of recipes. I'm constantly trying different things, and I'm cleaning up staging sets and stuff like that. So I've used it before. I eat that macadamia that might be on the board or whatever, you know. So I have taken a good hard look at what I've been eating and when I've been eating it, and changed it back to the way I lost weight originally, and that is intermittent fasting. Eating only when you're hungry, not when this is hungry, but when this is hungry, okay? And there is a big difference. For those of you who are obsessed by food, you've got to think about me. Like, I am like writing hundreds of recipes all year long, and I am totally food obsessed. But now I'm realizing that it's just not right to go and eat something just because you think you're hungry. You've got to like feel it. So that is one of the main things, and I feel it's the crux of what's changed for me, is like eating only when I'm hungry, only eating to satiety, not till I'm full and sick or anything like, not that I did that before, but like I would just keep going, you know, like for hours. So like I try and eat within a window. So my intermittent fasting window on the 4 days on is I will pretty much eat between, say, I'll say 12 to 4, but most of the time it might be between 1:30 and 3, okay? So I only eat within that window. Now, that is not to say that you can't eat longer and that everyone responds to the same way. I know when I lost weight just on low carb keto at the beginning, when I was fasting, I felt amazing. I felt more energetic. I felt clearer, that clarity in the brain. Everything about me was like, I was like, I don't know, a high horsepower engine running, you know, constantly. And you could tell that I like was responding really well to it. So for me, that is a shorter window. The plan itself, you can eat in a wider window if that's what you're better for. You're a lower weight, you need more needs, you need more food and stuff like that, so you can increase it. But that is what I've been doing, okay? So no change in exercise. So the exercise really, to me, does make no difference to my weight loss, because it's something that I've been doing for nearly the whole time I've been low carb, okay? And just increasing the intermittent fasting, stopping eating at the wrong time. So like before, when we'd come back from a walk, I might have had an energy drink and one of those protein bars. Now when I come back from a walk, I just wash my hands and do work. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I will eat when I'm hungry. Any energy drinks, and that's gone. I had put in a post today that I gave up drinking alcohol in December 2020, so it's been quite a few years now. So I don't have that crutch on the weekend or anything like that, or want to drink alcohol throughout the week. But you're remembering, for those of you who do drink it, that your body actually has to metabolize that alcohol before it metabolizes anything else, and it can actually affect your weight loss. So a lot of people who are saying they're following the plan and still drinking wine at night, you're drinking carbs, you're drinking something that your body's got to digest and move before it can actually digest anything else that you're putting into it, because those super simple calories that are going in it's like throwing the grass on the fire, and it just has to get all burned away before your body will do anything with the other fats and proteins that you're eating, okay? So it's not doing you any favors. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to do a short plan that was easy enough. So for 4 days with the EF3, you're just following the plan. On the other 3 days, if you want to drink alcohol and eat a pie, go for your life. But if that's what you're normally doing, like if you've been following a low carb and then you're going to eat a high calorie weekend or a high carb weekend, and that's not what you normally would do, then really you're undoing all the good work that you've done. Okay, so I still have had days, and I only have like one when I normally do it. So those of you who've been following my entire journey for these last 3 months, I was connected to a continual glucose monitor and just monitoring different things. I would actually test. I tested a small cup of corn. I tested some chips and stuff like that. Just tested to see how my body would react to it. And because being highly insulin resistant, it was an interest sake for me. And I found that my body doesn't like those kind of foods. So, you know, I still keep it within reason. So if I'm going to eat something high carb, I would say eat it on Friday. And then I still intermittent fast on those 3 days that I have off. So this is my keys. Like the intermittent fasting becomes normal, but on the weekends, mine gets extended. So tonight, after I finish this live, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to make some sugar-free gummies because Dave just said that the stash is running low. And tonight, when we, you know, tune off at say 8:30, 9 o'clock, we put on something on Netflix and we watch some TV. And over the Friday, Saturday night, sometimes Sunday, but mostly just the 2 nights, I will have something around about 9 o'clock at night, which is usually a sugar-free gummy, a little bit of keto chocolate and stuff like that. So some treats. So for me, that is like my KFC. You know what I mean? Like I know when I used to think about going on a diet, it's like you'd immediately want to eat something that you probably never normally eat anyway. Let's just say it's KFC and you don't normally eat it, or you do. But as soon as you say diet, I want KFC now. So for me, my breaking the diet or treating myself today was going out for lunch and having a steak lunch. Tonight it'll be some gummies. Tomorrow I still, like after those gummies from 9 o'clock, I'll still fast to probably around about midday to 2 o'clock tomorrow anyway. So I'm doing things, I'm active. I've never eaten breakfast, so that's not something that I miss. But on those other days or all those days, I'll still eat how I normally eat. So if you're going to do this and you normally eat bread and rice and things like that, you can still eat your bread and rice on the weekend. Because if we look at over the weeks and over the months, you are going to be reducing your total calorie intake for a week, month, year. Your carb intake will be reduced in that as well too. But the thing that I hope that comes from those 4 days, and this is what I feel that our followers that have already been using the plan week in, week out have discovered, is when you're on the EF3, even just in those 4 days, you start to realize like how you feel. And when you go back to not the fasting or the other recipes and stuff like that you normally would have, you actually miss the feeling and the foods that you were having from EF3. So that's the big takeaway for me. It's like Dave, even my partner Dave, if you've seen him, he's lean, right? He's lean, he's strong, muscly, but he's like, can I have a shake? You know, he just wants the shake on the egg fast shake on the weekend. You know, he'd prefer to eat. For us, we've been eating better food, so much less wastage, because when you're going shopping, you're buying to the plan, so it is actually minimizing your shopping. It's, even though some, like let's just say eggs might seem expensive, realistically they're cheap. Anyone that's say buying a protein bar, most protein bars are $4.50 to $6 each. An 18 pack of eggs is $9. You don't eat that in 2 goes, so that's more meals than one protein bar, or you know, one little packet of snacks. I mean, like, you know, I know like keto snacks of chips and cheese pops and all those sort of things are ridiculously priced for something that will fit in half a cup. So it's not expensive. It is cheaper than our grocery shop. Like I priced it for us for 4-day plan for 2 people with extra ingredients left over at the end that would still take your whole weekend at $55, right? So it's $55 Australian for anyone watching. So that's pretty bloody cheap for 2 people to eat really, really well, and more, like I said, more than they'll actually physically eat. Because when I planned that out, that's to the plan. I only eat 1 to 2 meals in my meals and it's not because I'm like trying to reduce any intake of calories or fat or anything like that. It's only because I'm eating to satiety. I'm only eating what I need. If I felt like I was starving late at night and I really needed something, I would have something. But like, we've got to consider, like, really, you're not going to be starving just hours after you've eaten. Starving is a whole different thing than feeling hungry or mentally feeling hungry, which I think a lot of it is. You know, I mean, a lot of us are kidding ourselves if we're really feeling hungry, because I don't think a lot of us know what hunger really is, right? So, but again, you can adjust it to your own way. The book is a guideline, okay? So we're not doctors, and we just say, like, you do you, and you can consult your medical professional in that as well too, okay? So that is all of the book in the nutshell. The plans I've been following myself mainly are the shake and bake. I've been pretty open to that. I like the shakes. I probably only have 2 now a week. Dave has 4, or even on the weekends, and so do I sometimes on the weekends. But like throughout the 4 days, I probably only have it a couple of times, because I've been testing some new recipes. I'm working on a new, another egg fast ebook, but it will be more like on protein fast. It's going to be called the Meg Fast. So the M, Meg, me. So it's just showing you that this is really a change from a traditional egg fast, okay? But it'll be based on, well, it's not will be, it is based on lunches and ready-made meals and that are easy to eat cold, or you can reheat them if you wish, but things that can be well and truly made ahead and taken out in the lunch boxes and stuff like that. So that is in a nutshell, but it's mainly meat-based. So this one will have like lots of meats already in the recipes for you. You won't be adding the extra protein. You can if you wish, if you need to up that. But they've been amazing meals. So I've been eating one of those a day. So let's just say the other day I had a cottage pie. And yeah, that was all I ate in the entire day. So shake and bake for me, for most ones. So when I first started, and that's something I know that Dave said to me too, when I first started, you got to remember, I put weight back on, so I was back heavy again. I lost 5 kilos, or 5.3 or something like that, I think it was, in my first week. I followed the shake and bake, so I actually had 2 shakes a day and 1 meal. So anyone that's, you know, got a bit of weight to lose, that's a great plan to follow. And lately I've just been testing the new one. So I'm just having a quick look out. I've said, well, that day's off for the low carb. So recipes for the weekend and stuff like that, if you're looking for inspiration or need help, we of course have our other meal plans, and I've done mini meal plans and 7-day meal plans for our cookbooks. So anyone that has our cookbooks can find them on the website under the free meal plans. There's not the recipes for them, so those of you who don't have the books, you actually have to have the books to use those plans. But otherwise, you can use the website. So the website has hundreds. We literally have over 500 recipes on our website that you can actually use for inspiration for the weekend, to find some new things. And it can be while you're on your 4 days. So if you're like craving, let's just say it's lasagna or something like that, you can look up on the website, find the, you know, easy low carb lasagna, and be making that on your Thursday or your Friday, ready for the weekend, and having a nice lasagna or a nice, you know, chicken piccata Milanese or something like that. So we've got lots and lots of resources that you can all use for the 3 days off. But, you know, again, I'll just say, like, even if you're going to go to the pub and let's just say have a schnitty, chips and gravy or something like that, try and then just do the fasting afterwards. If you do the intermittent fasting, you're actually putting your body back into ketosis. So we had one question this morning. It's like, it was somebody who doesn't follow a low carb diet. They've done the 4 days. They felt a bit off. So keto flu for the first couple of days. That can happen to some people. If you're feeling a little bit nauseous and whatever, that's just normal if you're not somebody who has followed a low carb diet for a long period of time. And you'll get over it quickly. For me, I've obviously been on it for years, but I found a really funny reaction that I had completely forgotten about, because I don't follow a lot of low carb keto groups anymore. I don't think there's a lot of people who are really active on a lot of them anyway. But I got a keto rash all over my back, and I'd forgotten that even happened. I'm like, oh my God, I've got that back. And I'd had that when I first started, but it has gone, even though like I've been doing this week in, week out, 4 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off. That's how I've been doing it. Yeah, the rash is gone. So if you've got keto flu, it's temporary, it will go away. But yes, if you go onto the weekend, which this particular person had asked, and go hell for leather, and let's just say ate, you know, burgers and chips and fish and chips and, you know, corn, because corn is like the devil's food. I loved it, by the way, but I'm not going to eat it anymore. And, you know, they eat all that. Then when you go back on, you might feel a bit off for the first day or two. That's just going to happen because you're pushing it up. But what I say is just, if you can stop, let's just say Sunday, if you stop at lunchtime and then fast through to Monday, you're putting yourself back into a fasting state. So you're giving yourself a kickstart essentially for that 4 days. And one of the big things is what we've seen a lot of people saying that they've done week 1 or week 2, or they could be week 4, whatever, and they've only like lost a small amount. I don't have my samples here. I did a sample the other day where I picked up like, you know, a stick of butter. Now a stick of butter is 250 grams. That is like what, about 12 tablespoons, depending on whose tablespoons you're using, US or metric. If you piled that into a bowl and thought of that as fat off your body that you've lost of 250 grams, you'd be pretty impressed, right? So don't be unimpressed with 250 grams. There have been weeks where I've lost only 200 grams. I don't care. I've lost every single week on this plan. So I feel amazing for it. And I'm like taking any win as a win, because previously to doing it, was I losing 250 grams or 200 grams or 500 grams or a kilo each week? No, I wasn't. So that's a win. And even if you don't, some people are doing their measurements. Now for me, I'm getting old, I'm 51 years of age. A lot of the weight, it was everywhere, but like I have a lot around my middle. My middle has only lost roughly around about 10 centimeters in the one measurement, like of the lower waist that I do, like across your belly button. But I can see like my butt is like lost heaps, and my jeans and that are all like saggy and baggy, and you know, I've had to buy new underwear and all that sort of stuff. So measurements can really help. So regardless of what the scales say and that sort of thing, that might help you. But just keep moving in the right direction, and just know that what you're eating is only real food, okay? And it's going to be good for you if you're only eating when your body needs it. Just a little switch off from what I've got here. People have been asking about fat and that as well too, because the traditional egg fast normally says, I think it's about 15 grams of fat per egg. Now we haven't added that into this because realistically, those people who are normally following an egg fast or any keto diet that actually want to lose weight, and that's why you would be on this plan, is to lose weight. You want to lose fat, right? So why add the fat? It's kind of like why we say, you know, diabetics, why give them insulin if they've got too much insulin? You know, you don't give alcohol to an alcoholic, you know, so we don't need to have that extra fat. Your body's got it there. So there is some fat in the recipes for that amount of satiety. If you want to lean it back because you want to use more fats on your body, you can take the fat out. There is some things like, you know, let's just say you're going to saute onions. Onions do taste better if they've got a little bit of butter or oil in them. But, you know, back in my superfood days where I was big, I would like just cook onions in a little bit of water or any kind of liquid, and of course they would still saute and go opaque. So, you know, it's totally up to you in that regard. You can reduce the fat to reduce any calories, and you can remove any cheeses and stuff like that too. The Egg Fast 3.0 is probably the only egg fast diet that you can actually even has a dairy-free plan. Okay, so you can take, there's 30 plus recipes that either have no dairy in them, or it's something that's easy enough to take out. Let's just say a sprinkle feta on the top. Easy not to stick on, right? So very, very simple. And that's also a way of controlling what you need. When you get now, okay, I'll just get started on the last part, because I think you've all got enough of what I do. And if you've got any questions regarding what I've done specifically, then just pop them in the chat box and I'll come back to it. But I do get a lot of questions about what I do myself. I'm like, it doesn't matter what any of us do. We're all different. But I understand that some people are like, oh, is there a magic trick? No, there's no magic trick. It's just knowing why I'm doing this, and I'm doing it for my health. And like I said, realistically, I haven't done my measurements because I only care about that waist. If my waist gets smaller, I know that I'm going to be healthier. You know, I think there's lots of enough information out there about, you know, reducing your waist measurement is good for your heart. It's obviously good for diabetes and insulin resistance, because, you know, it's an insulin resistance belly in the beginning. So oddly enough, I get so many people, and I hate to say it, but it really frustrates me. How do I get started? I don't know how to get started. I've got no inspiration. If you go on anyone's plan or any diet, how do you get started? You read it, right? You pick a plan. Now let's just say if you've got no idea which one to pick, then the first one that's called plan 1 is week 1. Just pick that one, which I think is shake and bake, which is my favorite one. You might never get past it like I did. So that's week 1. You buy all the things that you need that are in that plan, and then you just say, I'm starting Monday. That's how easy it is. It isn't hard, okay? And why are you doing it? Because I've been putting on weight, or I need to lose weight, or I got type 2 diabetes, I'm insulin resistant, I've got metabolic syndrome, all these different reasons. Whatever your reason is, that is what you keep in your head, why you're doing it, whether it's, to be more active and be around the kids or stuff like that, live longer, whatever it is. So it is not hard to get started, okay? It's just pick the plan, or just use the first one, and then the next one's the next one. Go shopping, buy the things. There is even a meal prep. So I'm going to show you plan one. Oh, there's even like, I laugh at this, how to use the plan. How do I get started? There's a cheat sheet before you start, during the egg fast and after the egg fast. There's the egg fast rules and a snapshot. There's, getting started. So between pages, I think it's 10 and 14 is where you want to start. So let's just go, I've given you a blank meal plan as well too, because you can actually make your own plan. You can swap any of the recipes that are in here. So if it's something on one of the plans you do not like, just like if you were following a Weight Watchers or, I don't know, Jenny Craig, any of those diets that you probably tried in the past, if you didn't like something, you swapped it, right? Same sort of like points, whatever. This is the same sort of thing. It's only eating to satiety. It's only eating in your eating window that you choose. So any of the meals are able to be swapped. Okay. So the first plan for this one is 4 days dairy free. So it's a dairy free plan. So it even has a whole page here on what you can actually prep ahead. So for this one, I can prep ahead the Asian broth, the Nam Jim, the Momofuku soy eggs and egg wraps. And then it says, plus any protein, I added extra 100 grams of protein to any of the recipes on here. So I like go, okay, well, I'm gonna have a week of chicken, or mince is on special. Well, if I'm adding 4 days and I'm going to buy some mince, then I only need to buy a 500 gram pack for myself, or if it's me and hubby, or me and one of the kids, or me and the whole family, then you just multiply that by however many people are on the plan and buy that protein. You could pick one protein, you could cook it all ahead of time, or you can look and go, okay, well, I'm going to make the Thai marbled eggs. That would be amazing with 100 grams of diced chorizo and mince in a pan with it, and then sprinkled over the top, done, right? So really simple. It's like where this gives you the power to actually create every recipe exactly how you like it, rather than me saying, Thai marbled eggs with prawns. I don't eat seafood. What can I use instead? Well, you can use 100 grams physical weight, not 100 grams of the nutritional protein, but 100 grams physical weight or more, because we actually say you can use our macro calculator to calculate your specific protein needs and cook that to go with that meal. So this is probably one of the only plans that I know that does that, and honestly, it doesn't make a difference to the end result. Like, I swear, I've been trying lots of different foods all the time. Like, even when eating this last week, I've eaten pasta bolognese, I've eaten cheeseburger muffins, I've eaten lasagna. What else have I had? There's probably something else in there that's like that. I know there's another meal. I tried some chicken soup and stuff like that. So I've eaten all those things, and I've still lost a kilo this week, right? And I'm like 12 weeks in. And like I said, not 1 week has gone by yet where I've actually been completely on the line or gone over, which is amazing. But it's where, like, I weigh myself on the Friday. So I weigh myself, today's Friday, yeah. I weigh myself Friday today. And I'll probably only weigh myself on Wednesday, because then I'm going to finish on the following Friday, like the Thursday night. So then if I see that the scales are only like 100 grams or 200 grams, so then I'll like make sure I'm really extra good the next day, and I'll make sure like I finish eating my 3 o'clock, and and just fingers crossed that I'm gonna get a good number for the week. So that's what I do. But yeah, there is no reason to say that this is hard to start. This is like one of the most flexible meal plans. It is part of a long-term plan. We are working on a new project. I have not said it out loud, but I'm going to probably say it right now. We're actually been working on something that's going to take a couple of years to develop, but it will be the new keto, and it is called the Fed Up Diet, the FU diet. For those of you who might get that, it's a bit of a funny, but it is all about being fed up, feeling fed up, but also getting fed up, and also an FU to diets. Okay, so this is what this is about. This is a way of us controlling how we eat and losing weight very simply with a very basic plan that works, and it's working really, really well. Like if you look through the reviews on our product of the Egg Fast 3.0 in our store, so the link is in the post, you will see people in there that have like, you know, saying I lost 10 kilos in 1 week. Obviously that's somebody who's got a bit of weight to lose, right? We don't all lose 10 kilos in a week. One of the most recent one is someone who like lost 18 kilos in the last 8 weeks. And it was somebody who, like me previously to changing, and they've been low carb for years, like me, but they were like me when I first started, in the way that things weren't working, things weren't helping you to lose weight, and this was the Kickstarter and the motivator that actually has helped them lose 18 kilos in 8 weeks, which is phenomenal. I'm like, wow, no wonder you feel amazing. Like in 8 weeks, I like lost 10, I think. So it's like, yay. Also on that, can you lose more? Can you lose, you know, increase the weight loss? Of course you can, because you're only doing this 4 days. If you want to increase it, make it go 5 days, 6 days, you can do that. There is nothing in this plan that is not real food. There is nothing in here that should be throwing you for a loop, because it's just food, okay? There's not even me saying you actually have to take this vitamin or that vitamin. We have in there to say that you should be having some electrolytes, but that is nothing different than if you're on a low carb diet, because we're eating less salt, because we're not eating pre-packaged foods, right? And cramping, and that can be something that can be quite problematic. And it's something that I know that I have to do, and I take a couple of electrolytes a day. I use my own ones that I have the recipe for in Keto Mojo, and I just add some extra magnesium and vitamin D or whatever I fancy putting in there into a mix, and then Dave and I have a couple of them every day as well. So that is part of our plan. So how do you get started? You've got the book and you've saved it. Save it to an app, like iBooks or Kindle or Dropbox or Google Docs. You can print out a copy for yourself. You can print out the plans, and you can print out any recipes that you might need, or just print out the plans and your shopping list. Take it to the supermarket and then follow plans from your device. Start Monday to Thursday. Like I said, if you're somebody who has lots of things on the weekend, so that's what's so great about this plan, is that if you've got weddings on and soccer or whatever, you're going away, you can move those weeks around to fit your schedule. So for me, I do it Monday to Thursday, then I know I'll still go out for Friday lunch. This is one day I have kind of off, which is Friday today, and I'm doing a little bit of work now, but I'm like, I've done nothing else, to be honest. And that is it. So then on Monday, you don't eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, you don't eat dinner if you don't want to eat it. You just eat when you're hungry, eat till you feel, I'm not hungry anymore, stop, and then have something else, but then try and increase those fasting windows. So one of the recommendations I have in the book is to stop eating 4 hours before you go to bed. For me, I stop eating roughly about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't go to bed till about 2 a.m., 1 a.m. No, sorry, not 2 a.m. It's a bit of a stretch. Between 12 and 1. So for me, that's many hours before I go to bed. But the more you pull back on the time that you stop eating before you go to bed, the longer the fast will be. Because by the time you get up, if you're not a breakfast eater anyway, you might have already fasted like for 15 hours or something like that throughout the night. And then, you know, you don't normally go on breakfast. You might have a black coffee in the morning, and then you'll have your lunch at lunchtime. So then you've got this great long fast in there that's done your body great, and you're using up the fat and the fuel that your body's already got in it. And that's what makes you weigh less at the end of the day. While you're fasting, so you can have the electrolytes, you can have water, you can have black coffee or tea, even the fruit teas and stuff like that. Just no milks, okay? Just keep that out. There is no cream in this plan as well. So many people ask me. Cream can add up very, very quickly. I've given you alternatives to cream, a way of making a cream in some of our recipes and stuff like that as well too. But you know, there's a reason why we start sticking on weight and things like that. Cream is kind of one that sneaks in a lot of things. So just keep that out. And it's not hard to change to no milk or cream in your coffees, okay? I used to be someone who used to have lattes all the time. Now, if you touched my coffee with anything white, I would scream at you. I love my black coffee. I love the crema on the top. I think most of you will know that I adore coffee more than most. And yeah, I could not bear it with cream or milk or anything like that in it now. So it is something that, you know, once you just keep doing it, you get used to it. It's like, you know, stopping eating carbs, right? So the plan is only 4 days. We're just going to wrap this up now. The plan is only 4 days. You do it for 4 days, have 3 days off, then you start it again. If in the first week, the first 4 days that you do it and you don't have a big loss, have a look back at what you did. You may have eaten something. You may have actually put that cream in your coffee that's stopping your fast, okay? So it's like, well, okay, well then the next 4 days I'm going to try it without that bloody cream in my coffee and see if Megan's right. And then you might actually see there's a change in the scale the next week. So it's like, well, that's probably enough for me to drop the coffee. Don't drop the coffee, drop the cream. There's no vegetables. So if it's not on the plan, it's not on the plan, okay? So we had an interesting one where somebody said, can you list the foods you can't eat? Well, there's a lot of foods in the world, so that would be quite the tone itself in listing all the foods you can't eat. If it's not in there, even some of the ingredients that we're using in there might be in a small, let's just say a teaspoon or something like that. I use creme fraiche for the pizza. That is more for the fact that it is a thick cream. It's got a good amount of protein in it, and it's only a very small amount. When you see it's like, let's just say it might be 60 grams on 4 serves of pizza. So realistically, you're getting bugger all. But yeah, that's used there. You can swap for sour cream, but yeah, not whipped cream, okay? But yeah, we do get people asking, can I add vegetables and stuff? You can still do whatever you want to if you want to do that, but you're not going to get the results, okay? You're not going to get the same results from the plant. Vegetables, we all know, have carbs in them, and they might be stopping you from losing those extra kilos. It's 4 days. Just try it without 4 days and see how you go. One thing I haven't written down here, and I'm just going to touch on it, is people saying they're constipated and stuff like that too. Constipate, are you straining and feeling the need to go, or are you just not going? Because the one thing we always say often is with low carb keto, if you're actually eating only what you need, eating to satiety, and your body is using your body itself for its own fuel, then there's no waste. There's a reason why, poo is called waste, because it's waste, it's leftovers, right? So if your body's using everything, then you're not constipated. It's actually running a really good fuel economy, okay? So you're saving money in many ways because you're not crapping it down the toilet. So, but if you are having problems, then the best thing to do is just probably have a bit of MCT oil, or if you don't drink coffee, take it up, because it does work. But yeah, that is something that I just thought of, because people are saying they have to have vegetables, they have to add psyllium or something like that to go to the toilet. Those are all carbs, okay? So the more you add, but in saying that, I've got psyllium in the Faster, and the Faster is a couple of serves in this book. If you have that with something and then drink some water with it and that as well too, one, it will actually make you feel full, but also it should actually help you go to the toilet if you need to go, okay? So then just add a pasta dish into your week if the previous 4 days you actually had problems. But like honestly, with keto, I've been the same all the time. It can be whether I'm on this plan or when I was originally planning. I run a low fuel economy, so there's less waste than having to go every day, because on the Western normal diet, the only reason we're on the toilet every day is because we eat heaps of crap, right? So, and then you crap it out, right? So that's the reason why it's called crap as well. As far as costs go, the book's currently on special. It will be finishing soon at $24.95, so it's a cheap buy. That's Australian dollars for any of our US or anyone buying in USD that's not in Australia. If you're in Australia, you can swap it to AUD if it's not showing your location on your device. With over 50 recipes. It's one of our biggest ebooks ever, one of our biggest plans, it's definitely our most successful and most popular book I've ever done. So great buy. When you're using the plans are very easy to make. They're all simple recipes. They are designed for not spending a shitload of time in the kitchen, and they don't cost you a lot of money, okay? So relatively speaking, if you're not buying all the other stuff because you're not buying all that other food, like yes, you might need some things for the weekend, but just buy what you need and you will save a ton of money. Our shopping bills were less than half of what they were before, okay? So big change in dollars. And you'll have less wastage from the fridge and that as well too if you're eating to a plan, which I think is amazing, because it's like, I'm not throwing out nearly as much, because before I was one of those people, especially with what I do for a living, buying lots of things to cook for recipes and stuff like that, and then not being able to eat all the foods or eat a whole cauliflower. I'm now like the queen of vacuum sealing and freezing. You can add extra protein. So again, just before I finish up the plan, you can actually add extra protein too. So you can eat meat and seafood to it. If you are vegetarian, you can, and you want to use tofu, you can use tofu. Obviously it has soy in it. You're probably used to that, but that's fine. It's still like high protein, and you can add that in place of any of the meats. And yeah, it can really change up the recipe. So let's just say you're making impossible pie, which has bacon in it. You could stick some prawns in it or something like that, or you could put garlic prawns over the top of it, or you could do the Arabic eggs with some, you know, chili garlic prawns and things like that. So this is a great way of, like, it's really exciting. You can look at that picture that I've put in the book, because all of the recipes have pictures. Just find a pretty one, not a dessert necessarily. Shakes. I'm picking all the good ones, and soups. Just find a main meal. Okay, so let's just say the fried halloumi hash. It's got eggs, it's got some halloumi and stuff like that on it. But you know, you could actually like be doing this with, let's just say smoked trout over the top, smoked salmon. You could do it with garlic prawns. You could do it with some baby octopus. You could do it with pork tenderloin and stuff like that, because we're trying to use more lean meats rather than pork belly and stuff like that. So, you know, you can look at these pictures and go, I could actually like turn that into a Greek dish. I could turn that into a Lebanese dish. I could turn that into a Turkish dish, whatever it is, just with the simple change of what protein goes on it. And then that way you've actually got a book that's got recipes in it, but they're a base recipe. So you've actually like got a book that can actually help you create hundreds of recipes using one base plan. And there is some flavored butters in that in here, the Mediterranean butter and the smoked chili tomato butter. Both amazing with lots of different ones. Like I've done them with meats, I've done them like with beef and chicken. I think that's pretty much the only meats that I've done lately in this plan, and they've turned out wonderful. And of course, if you haven't seen like our Kraken bread, our famous bacon pizza, and our what's the pizza bases, the Kraken bread and the Faster, they seriously have a cult following of their own on our Facebook group with literally hundreds of variations of recipes. I just saw today that somebody made dumplings, I think, with the Faster. You better not beat me, I think it was Paul. You better not beat me to making ravioli with it, because I'm going to do a ravioli with that damn Faster one day. But yeah, there's just been, we've made burritos with it, filos with it, you know, the Kraken bread, there's been toasties, there's been pizzas, there's been pies, so many different things. So these are recipes that are very unique, and they are really helping people to lose a lot of weight. So it's pretty astounding. So I'm going to finish it up there. I'll finish up my chatting. I'll just have a quick look at any questions. If you've got any questions, have a quick rundown. I'm going to skip past all the hellos and stuff like that. But hello to everybody, and thank you for tuning in. And for everybody that has actually been following this plan and sharing all your pictures in our group, it's been truly amazing, because it's surpassed what I ever thought it would, but it's also surpassed anything we've ever done in the past as well. So I'm seeing lots and lots of highs. Okay, so here's one from Zorica. I hope I've said that right. Been on keto for about 6 weeks and I've lost 11.5 kilos, but I feel with this eating plan I've lost weight from my back rather than my belly. Is this normal when we go? Will the front go on? What can I do to get rid of the belly fat? It will just come off everywhere. Like honestly, like you can look, if you look back at even my lives and stuff like that, you'll just see like my face has even changed. If we could target where weight comes off, or if I could target where weight comes off, I'd be really rich, because you know, who wouldn't want to have like a tiny little waist, even if you've got big hips and a big butt, right? Like, because you know, that makes a lot of people some money. But no, it will come off. It's just possibly that you may have had extra weight on your back at the time. So I don't think, you know, you can target any specific where. It's even when you do exercise, it's very hard to target where the weight will come off. Has your social life taken a hit? I'm not sure what that one means. It might have been in relation to something I was saying at the time. Do you take any supplements, since we used to get vits and mins from vegetables? No, I haven't taken in. I tried to take supplements in the past, because I'm not a huge vegetable eater day to day anyway. Like, in saying that, I mean, I probably eat more leafy greens and things like that, but no. You know, there's a lot of people that are, again, all pro carnivore or ketovore these days with less vegetables and stuff. But dark leafy greens, and that can be good, of course, for iron absorption if you're eating meats and things like that. Although there's probably some doctors that will tell me otherwise nowadays. And I'm not going to fight with anyone because I don't know what all the recent stuff is. I honestly feel healthier than I ever have. I don't think I'm missing out on anything. I take electrolytes every day, and they're giving me, potassium, magnesium, vitamin D, and probably a host of other things that I don't even know. And of course, the hemp seeds have omega-3s, omega-6s, and then if you're adding seafood and stuff like that, you get that from that as well. I drink a couple of litres of water. Oops, sorry, things are jumping around and follow the plan, but still get constipated. What can I do differently, Susan? Is that constipated, or are you just not going? Because there is a difference. And like, I know a lot of people say that, but it's just like, if you're straining, then have some MCT oil. That usually will clean out anything. Or eat the pasta and drink water with it. Aquarius and Cancer love reading. Okay, not sure what that one means. But I'm an Aquarian. Spinach and ricotta faster. I've been taking an MCT supplement. Is this something you've tried or know much about? No, I haven't been I don't take any supplements, but I've had MCT coffees and MCT oil. And yeah, you can certainly get things moving if you need those sort of things. But it looks like I'm up to all the questions. So, wow, I thought it was jumping around because there's lots of questions. So I'm going to go. So if you've got any other questions regarding it, you can pop them in the thread. If you have anything that you want to ask personally, not about you personally or a plan for you personally, because I don't do that, you can send me a message on my Facebook page, but please keep it to that. It's short and it's something that other people would benefit from if I was to put you as anonymous somewhere else. But yes, I don't do your own plans. I'm not going to give you personal advice or health advice because I'm not a doctor, and that is something you'd need to chat with a health professional over. So I do avoid any of those, and it is obviously utilising my time, so I do try and just only do what I can. But yeah, if it's something that you wouldn't want to put out into public, because we have had even like our reviewer who'd lost the 18 kilos, they just didn't want their friends and family to know. So we keep things anonymous in that regard. Okay. Do you recommend giving up dairy? It really depends if it works for you or doesn't. So I've been losing weight with the dairy. I keep saying I'm going to try a couple of days without it. And I did say to Dave today that I was going to do some things differently. And I said I was going to do it after I've lost the extra weight, but I might test some things while I'm still losing weight, because it's probably better to do that, because when you're getting closer to, the middle of your healthy weight range, or to the lower end of your healthy weight range, obviously weight loss becomes harder. But I will test a couple of days and that, or a whole week and that, with dairy free, and just see how it goes. But it's like saying, do you need to give up chicken or gluten or whatever? We don't eat gluten, but you know what I mean? Like, if some people have to have no gluten, so some people have to have no dairy. I think it's only something like if you need to, or it can be something that can easily be removed and help you maybe lose some weight. So that's why I thought I'd just check and see if it makes any difference. A lot of the meals that I just said that I've eaten this past week, had a little bit of cheese and stuff like that in them, but they were mainly meat based. So the meat was overweighing whatever dairy was in it, but I was still eating dairy. But yeah, I just think, the good thing about having the 4 days and being cyclical is that you can adjust each week. So if you want, and the book has dairy-free recipes in it and a dairy-free plan. So you could do, one of the weeks with dairy in it, do one the next week without it, because when you're limiting what foods you're eating within those 4 days, it is a form of an elimination diet. So you can actually start to feel what works for you. I know sometimes on the weekend when I eat some different things, we will hear your belly gurgling, let's just say, from eating sweeteners and stuff like that. So some people have said even during the plan, there's some things that actually have some sweeteners in it, like the shakes, you can sweeten them. And they say that they feel, tummy gurgling or unwell or whatever afterwards. And I often say, it's possibly the sweetener. Because I know on a weekend, I say I eat those chocolates and gummies, you can hear my gut within an hour, and it's from them. It's got nothing, throughout the 4 days, I don't have wind, I don't have gut gurgling, I feel amazing. And then on a weekend, if I eat other things, a lot of other not so pleasant things might happen, because I'm still eating low carb, but just eating, more and eating crappy things, like you said, gummies. I don't know if there's really anything wrong with gummies, because I even made marshmallow the other day that had virtually hardly any sweetener in it for this huge, massive marshmallow, because I'm testing some different recipes. And I'm like, it's like eating savory marshmallow. Imagine that. It's like perfect marshmallow consistency, by the way. But it's interesting, but it's got some toasted coconut on the outside just for the weekends. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, definitely for dairy-free, just trial different things on different weeks. Like, just see if you respond better to having a pescatarian week where you might, still eating eggs and stuff like that, but you know, you might only eat seafood, or you might only eat chicken, and you can actually start to see how your body feels and responds to the different foods, because you're already on something that's partially eliminating, and it's easy to stick to, because you know on the weekend, if you like want to have a glass of wine, or you want to have a keto chocolate, or you want to, I don't know, have a chicken schnitzel, or you're going to a wedding, whatever, you know that it's like 4 days of being good, and then you can, you know, have that little extra of something, but then still try and keep it within reason. This is like, for me, I'm like going, if you want to have that one treat meal a week, you know, this is why we're trying to do this, is why I'm looking at this, you know, the FU diet, is that I want to create and have meals and recipes and plans that people will stick to. And the funny thing is like, over the years, I have been repetitively criticized, banned, barred, you know, names against me and stuff like that, for being somebody who has created recipes that do have sweeteners or whatever in them, not artificial sweeteners, I use, erythritol or whatever. But, you know, having these other foods, like making, you know, probably the first Keto Mars bar back in 2017, I think I made it, that, you know, people go, that's not keto, or that's not good for keto. I'd love to know where most of those people are, because they're all probably not following it anymore. So for me, it was like, well, if I can create recipes that will keep you on a low carb diet, that can keep blood sugars stabilized and stuff like that as well, and that they're achievable, that you don't feel like you're ever missing out, then that is, to me, the ultimate way to eat. People say that keto or low carb is something that you can't sustain. Bullshit. I've been sugar-free for 6.5 years, and do I even crave any sugar? No, I do not. Because, wow, like I said, I can have a keto Mars bar. People have, like, everyone always comments on my keto cobbers or caramels, or, you know, I don't know what you call them in all the different countries, but like, you know, a hard caramel coated in chocolate, all sugar-free. Keto pavlova, there is nothing that, you know, essentially, like, I can probably recreate every kind of food that I want. I don't spend that amount of time anymore, because to me, I would rather just do things that only takes like 5 minutes to make, to be honest. That you can get that sweet hit, or that chili hit, or that chicken hit, whatever, but it just takes us a lot less time to make. And that's what this whole book was about. It's like, right, when we were making it, my testers would love some of the recipes, go, nah, it took too long. It's out of it, out of the book. It's gone. We were trying to make everything simple, but still like have so much flavor that you're like, and this is what's been the most crazy thing about this book, is that there is so many people saying that they can't stop eating recipes, that they're actually craving it, that they're making Kraken bread and they're showing off all their recipes on the weekends and stuff like that, even when they're not on the plan. They just keep going with it because they love the foods. Oh, they love that they can just change it a little bit. They can make a sweet faster and make a chocolate lasagna if they wanted to. They can, you know, make a cheesecake out of the Kraken bread. You know, not a cheesecake, but the base, or whatever, or make a pie out of it, or, you know, make a pocket, make a Pop-Tart, whatever, you know, you can do all these different things with the same recipes, and that's what's exciting, just because it's simple and easy. And if we all could have food like that all the time, because like even when we eat normal, you know, if you're gonna make a roast dinner and then like peel the potatoes and then, you know, heat up the duck fat and fry them and then put them in the oven, then come back and thrice cook them and then have to do the beans or whatever, it's like, you know, I'm already like in a coma. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do anymore, because I hate spending hours in the kitchen. So easy recipes is what we're trying to achieve, and that all the time now, and make it easy for everybody. So dairy, yes, okay, love this idea. I've been struggling for keto 2 years, been recently struggling. So Rebecca, yeah, just try it. Like, honestly, and don't be like one of those people that's telling me, I don't know when to start, I'm like scared or whatever, just do it. Right? That's what you got to do with everything. You know, when you start a keto, you just had to do it, right? You went shopping, you probably cleaned out your pantry, threw everything away, and then 2 years later, it's all the crap's back in your pantry. Take it out again, start again, do this, just day one, baby steps, 4 days. If you need to have something at the weekend, have it then. You probably feel like crap after you've had it, so then you'll be like, oh, I'm ready for another 4 days. Because I can't wait to have that famous bacon pizza with, I don't know, KFC chicken that's just got like chicken, you know, our KFC off the website, which is just a seasoning on some nice tenderloins, chopped up, popped on top, and then turn that cooked mayonnaise into a aioli all over the top, a little bit of baby spinach and avocado, and Bob's your uncle, and that's still in this plan, right? So pretty easy. I tested ketone blood strips, should have been testing glucose as well. That's just up to you, Susan. I just used the CGM for a couple of, well, I did it for a month, but I've done it at the beginning of testing the EF3, and I did it for the last 2 weeks. I just finished last Sunday, and that was mainly just to see how I react to foods, and I was using it. I was seeing how the plan would work for my sugar levels, which I was, you know, my average sugar was around 5 throughout it. Glucose levels was around 5 mmol. And then on the weekends, how they spiked eating other foods, just testing things. Like I said, a small little cob of corn, and it was only like a little one, and that shot me up to, I think we hit 11 or 12, I can't remember. I did a live on it, and it stayed up there for a week pretty much from corn. So that's why I said I won't be eating corn anymore, because obviously my body does not like it. I grew up eating corn, I loved corn, and it was pretty sweet. Like, to be honest, it wasn't that nice now that, you know, I'm used to not eating it. Okay, so I think we are ready to rock. But yeah, if anyone else has got another question or two, just pop them into the thread. I'll go through and answer them later. Thanks for tuning in. For everybody that's got the book, and that if you haven't started on it yet, get in there, let us know, share your pictures of what you've been making in our Facebook group, and we will be giving away prizes all the way to the end of June. So it's still our June challenge, and keep an eye out for the Meg Fast coming out soon, Meg Fast 3.1, which is all protein egg fast recipes on the go, and also in the distant future, the FU diet coming out from Matt Creations. Okay, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.